Good afternoon and welcome to the News at Noon. I'm Elisa Miller. The coronavirus has been officially declared as a global health crisis by the World Health Organization. News Channel 10's Courtney Tate details what local health officials say is the best way to prevent an outbreak from happening in our community. Well, Sheldon, some of the ice is melting, but more ice, more snow. What does it look like?
Well, most of the snow we're going to see is going to melt off before we get our next round of snow, hopefully.
We're at 32nd and Grand with Fire Captain Kyle Joy, where it appears to be a few house fires. What do you know about this so far?
So about 12:15 this afternoon, we had a report of a structure fire.
Shamrock fire officials are continuing to work on putting out the blaze that consumed the Shamrock Community Center. Officials say the fire began around 1 this morning. The building was used for many events and is considered a total loss. The fire is expected to burn until later today. Details are limited, but we will continue to follow this and bring you the latest as it becomes available. Mannequins like this one who can breathe, blink, and even cry will be used to train rural healthcare providers around the region starting next year. Sir, how are you used to train medical students?
The medical students are allowed to make mistakes on me so it will not happen to a real patient.
In 2014, the area where they predict Kennedy and his boat to be would have been dry and look something like this. Over time, when the lake rose and all the trees and the shrubs were covered with water but stayed at the bottom of the lake, with only 12 feet deep in some places, it's the terrain that's making searching for Kennedy and using any type of sonar unit near impossible. After finding a boat using the sonar scanner, the National Park Service thought the boat found at the bottom of Lake Meredith belonged to the missing hunter and camper from Canyon, Ryan Kennedy. Today, divers were in these waters at Lake Meredith only to find out the boat they had discovered did not belong to the missing hunter. Behind me is what's left of the Family Support Services building and the Veterans Resource Center after a devastating fire Sunday morning. Today, we learned that the building is 100% at loss. A month into picketing, United Steelworkers and ASARCO workers have resulted to rallying and props, trying to get their point across to the ASARCO company. It's a new social media challenge involving pennies, outlets, and phone chargers and has been seen at Dalhart High School 3 times in the last week.
It's sad to say, but you could lose a life over it if a small toddler did this or a child did this because they saw their brother or sister watching this on YouTube or TikTok, Snapchat, whatever it may be.
The outlet challenge has kids plugging a phone charger into a wall, leaving enough space to drop a penny in between the wall and the outlet. When the copper of the penny hits the prongs of the charger, a rush of an electrical current occurs.
When that metal object touches the top of the charger, you're typically going to have a breaker that would trip because that high inrush current is designed, that breaker is designed to trip to keep that safe. That does not always happen, however, or happen quick enough.
Because of the electrical rush created when the penny hits the prongs of the charger, it creates heat that could start a fire behind the wall without you knowing. Jones was called to Dalhart High School to inspect for fires behind the walls.
By the time they could see a fire happening, it could be to the point that a fire extinguisher may not control it, especially if it's inside the wall itself. You're more than likely not going to be able to control it at all. It will need to burn through the wall before a fire extinguisher can do anything about it. And at that time, if there is a fire and they can't see it, when we get there, we'll have to break through the wall to find that fire and also check for extension into the wall.
Electricians say any outlet that has experienced the outlet challenge needs to be professionally checked to make sure the wires have not been compromised and are not leaking, which could create a fire over time.
Anytime you have that arc flash, you're going to have a burn, whether it's the penny, the back of the receptacle, the cover plate, or the wall, or the wiring itself, there's going to be a burn there.
There have been reports of the outlet challenge happening in Amarillo as well. Dalhart police say in the state of Texas this is considered a felony, and if caught, you could be charged with arson. Elisa Miller. Plans for the abandoned St. Anthony's Hospital to become a senior living center are that much closer to being fulfilled after an approval from City Council. The affordable senior living complex would be known as the Commons at St. Anthony's and located on the southeast corner of Polk and Amarillo Boulevard. Yes, and the Amarillo Area Office of Emergency Management actually has a tool available to the surrounding school districts that helps administrators make that decision on whether or not to cancel school. One of the steps local school districts take when deciding to call it a snow day involves consulting with emergency professionals.
We're in constant communication of the Amarillo Area Office of Emergency Management.
The unexpected snow and ice has caused many closings, including many healthcare facilities. Among the schools and businesses closing today, some healthcare facilities also called in a snow day due to the weather. Northwest Hospital had 2 of its facilities closed, while BSA had at least 8. While most are getting their gloves and snow boots out, T. Miller Wrecker is preparing for the car crashes we could see tomorrow. Yeah, wow, near record. Well, thank you for watching News at Noon, and we'll see you back here for Live at 5. Have a great Friday.